What is up, guys? It's Troy at the Full Setup here, back with another video for you, and today we are going to be reviewing this. This is the Genesis Krypton 550 Ultralight gaming mouse featuring the Pixar 3325 sensor, and it's available for about 25 to 30 pounds. I've actually been using this mouse for about a month now, so I've got loads of footage to show you. We're going to have a good look around the mouse in a second, show you it compared to some of the other mice that I use, sort of for comfort, fit, how the buttons feel. Going to show you all the software, and then I'm going to talk about how I got on with it in gaming as well. So I'm going to take you in for that footage, and I'll be back at the end of the video to tell you my sort of pros and cons. Now, I'm not going to do an unboxing for one of two reasons. First reason is that OBS screwed me over again when I was unboxing the Krypton 550. And also, there's not really anything to show you. Here is the box. Here is a picture of the mouse. We're going to talk about the mouse anyway, but I'm going to talk about one con. One con is that they didn't include any spare feet with the Krypton 550. And this is a really gripe for me for non-branded mice. It was the same thing I said with the Forzy GM800, although you can put the, the Model O skates on this, I think, is that when you're not one of the sort of big five mouse companies that it's freely available, loads of people sell upgraded feet or the original feet for it, it sort of makes it like as soon as your feet go, your mouse has got to go. And that is a big con for me. It's not an expensive thing to include in the box. I can't see anywhere you can buy them from. So that is a little bit of a con there. Also, they sent over this. This is the Boron 500 XXL RGB mouse pad. Obviously, we're not going to do a separate whole video on that because it is just a mouse pad. But I love that the cable comes out of the top. I think this is available for about 15, 20 pounds. They call it an XXL. I wouldn't say I'd say it's extra large. I like a mouse mat that's a little bit wider because I've got this sort of cheap IKEA desk which picks up scratches really easy. So I think this is like 900 by 300. I normally prefer like 900 by 400 or 450 mouse pads. Personal preference, but yeah, it moves around on it pretty nice. So let's have a little closer look then. So there is a button on the bottom. Let's have a look at the bottom of the mouse. You can turn the RGB lights on or off. As you can see, there's the skates there as well. I don't know if there's any tape on these. I don't think there is. Just make sure before we judge that. I'll have another good look later. As you can see, there's the button for the RGB. We've got sort of honeycombness, because this is like a honeycomb cutouts, because this is a 75 gram mouse. And here you have the Pixar 3325 sensor in it. So it's not the highest end one, sort of like this one that's got the 3389 in it. I think the BasIlisk has got the 3360 in it, but it's going to be pretty decent entry level mouse there. And we'll talk about it a little bit more, its sensor performance, after I've used it for a week. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this mouse and this mouse pad for a week and then sort of come back, sort of see how I feel about it. So it's a 71 gram mouse. See, we've got some more honeycomb cutouts here. Now, these lights change with the DPI. So for your different DPI settings. Now there is software which I'll show you in a bit, and it looks very similar to the Forzy software. So I imagine you can actually change the color. So you've got something that you like for your DPI. I generally like the sort of pink. And then you've got the RGB lighting on the side here. You've got sort of a textured finish, almost like a grip, but it is quite, you can see that shiny there. It's very plasticky. It's nothing like the grip, my food-filled grip on my BasIlisk V1. Raleno switches. Just making sure my mouse isn't over anything that's going to stop this recording. There we go. Raleno switches. Rated for 20 million clicks. Let's do a little switch comparison. Where is the mouse? Where is the mouse? I should probably doing this why it's not plugged in. So this uses Raleno switches as well. I'm pretty sure it does. And these ones are quieter. It's a little bit quieter in this setup here. And now we've got the BasIlisk V1. Okay. Got the scroll wheels. That's very soft, that scroll wheel. Just sorry, I'm trying to hold it near my shotgun mic. Very soft. A little bit more of a tactile feel on it. Almost like the BasIlisk that you can crank all the way up. Listen to this. Oh, really get fine tune it to how you like. I just like a little bit of click. So Yeah, that's about right. I think if we get the BasIlisk. So it's actually about the same. Okay, let's move this out of the way. Let's do a move around the mouse mat test. Obviously, this is flying about compared to the BasIlisk. I think the 4Z comes in about the same weight. So these fly around, and I'm going to explain now why I've got all of these 3 mice. Actually, one thing first, the cable. Now, when I got the 4Z GM800, I don't know if you can see this on camera, I can almost sort of pinch it. It's sort of a big cable. It almost feels like you've got a thin cable and a fixed sleeve. I thought it would really do my head in and it wouldn't actually help, you know, moving around and it would get stuck. But I actually really like that style now, even if I don't want the thick cables. I think my next mouse is probably going to be a wireless one. But so I'm going to tell you a little bit more why I've got 3 mice on the desk, because really when you're buying a gaming mouse, you're obviously not just using it for gaming. Like when you're buying a mouse, it should be the mouse that you're most comfortable with, and that's the one that you like to use. Me, I'm just a weird person. I like different things for different tasks, essentially. So as much as I love ultralights, okay, for first-person shooters and really banging the mouse around quick, I don't like them for video editing and using programs that need really micro adjustments. I know you can adjust DPI for that, but it just feels too light for me. I like the feel of a nice, big quality mouse, something like the BasIlisk V1. But where I don't like the BasIlisk V1, which is sort of where we're getting over to shape now, really, and the reason between these two, why these have been on my desk, is the shape, is I've got quite small hands and I use the palm grip, okay? And if you can see, I'll try and hold this here. You see sort of as my hand hits, it hits there in my palm. And I find when I'm using this for shooters, I just, you know, you grip a bit tighter. As you can see, I'll grip and it hits me in here and it just comes up here a little bit. After time, you know, after an hour or so, it's not for me. I really like the comfort of this mouse. Now, this mouse is very similar. This is my favorite. This is the style that I like. Look how that fits my hand. Sort of fits it perfectly. I can use this. I can move this one around for hours. No, doesn't hit me in the palm. This is essentially the GM800. Is a Model O clone, and I was very tough on this mouse when I first got it because it was about £5 or £10 more than the Model O, even though it's got a better sensor, the 3389. But the differences between that and the 3360, I think it's the same sensor in the BasIlisk. It's negligible. I said it's almost like it's like a placebo effect because you feel like you've got a you know, a better mouse sensor. You're a better player. I don't think that sensor comes into it too much. But my biggest gripe with this is that I said, you know, it's a clone. Clone should probably cost less, and this kept changing its polling rate from 1,000 to 100. It's had a software update and it doesn't use it anymore. So I use this mouse all the time. I've completely lost track of where I was, but this is the comfort fit. Yeah, that's where I was. Now this is very similar. You've almost got, it's very close. Okay, that style, but you can see it's chunkier. It lifts up here. If you have a look at it, let's see if I can get them in the same position. You have a look at it here. They both have that sort of raised angle. The BasIlisk is more aggressive, but if you see that there, it raises up. So this one still hits my hand in that position, but it feels more comfortable the way that my hand grips. Like here, as you can see, like, look, I can't reach even, I have to move forward to reach that, and that's where it hurts on the DPI clutch, and that's the big button. You see my thumb just like, that's all it does. It just barely touches it. And I have to lift it forward. So that's where the hurt is. So this just feels just right. Although we haven't done the side click buttons. Okay, let's talk about the side clicks actually. Because that was another gripe. There's tiny little side clicks. Although it's perfect. You can see where my thumb is. They're both there. And I sort of have that rocking motion now. To hit that side button, but these side buttons are a lot bigger. Nice feel, and then they're massive on the old BasIlisk. Anything else? Have we got anything else we need to cover? So yeah, I'm a weirdo that uses 2 different types of mice for different tasks, but I feel I could get along with this. So it's going to be some tough competition, but initial how they feel on the hand. Obviously the GM800 is the nicest feeling for me, especially if I'm literally bashing the mouse around and having to reach all the buttons, where the BasIlisk is in last place. This is second at the moment, but we'll find out after I've used it for a couple of hours. And obviously, you know, like I said, I am going to use this for a week. So I'm just going to show you the software quickly, and then I'm going to probably play some games and come back with my final thoughts on the I'm getting confused with the model numbers now. This is the Krypton 550 RGB mouse. You know, £30. You can get this one for £30 if you watch out, but generally £50, £60 mouse. So half the price, and I'll come back to you with my final thoughts on it. Okay, then let's take a look at the software. Now, one thing I'm going to be doing is just probably putting my hand like that every now and then over the camera that's feeding the mouse, because I've had so many issues getting all of this like multi-camera stuff set up the past month. So actually the first bit of the video that you've seen I shot like 3 weeks ago. So I've been using this mouse quite a lot, and actually since then as well I've also picked up, you probably can't see it there, a Model O wireless as well. So there'll be some videos on that coming very soon. But anyway, over to the software side of things then. So one thing I really like is that it actually shows the current lighting effect here on the Krypton 550 mouse. Now this software is the same software that comes with a lot of other mice as well. It's actually pretty much the same sort of software that I had with my 4Z GM800. Now one thing you can do is you can customize all of the buttons, and it numbers them on screen to how you want them to be, but this is how I'm going to leave it. That's perfectly fine for me, although I am considering that I might start using a DPI for something else, as I normally always have a set DPI of 800. Now you can also change the colors of your DPI, and you can change the DPI here to whatever you want. So I'm going to change this to sort of a purpley pink, and as you can see, yeah, that's changed now on the scroll wheel, and we'll change 3200 to red. Why am I doing this? Because the first gaming mouse I ever had, it didn't have any software. It was just, you know, a cheapo one, but 800 DPI was a sort of purpley pink color, and it's just what I'm used to. So that's what I always set mine to. Now there also is a basic macro editor, but I think the way I'm capturing this window in OBS, you won't see it. No, you won't see that on screen. But it's just pretty simple, just a really simple macro editor like you see with a lot of software like this and keyboard software. You know, just punch a combination in and click save, and then that is your macro. Assign it to a key. Sorry for anyone that's big into macros and, you know, not seeing that right now. Now there's also the lighting effects as well. So we've got the Prisma effect here, and then we can go to something like colorful tail. You can change the speed. There's also neon as well. Most of this stuff you can all do by the button, but it is nice that it's here in software. So I'll go back to the Prisma and leave it as I'd like it. I think that's the effect that most of us are going to have. And again, it's a bit of a shame that you can't have effects on the little scroll wheel there, but then it's a good sign to know which DPI that you're on. Now, this is one thing that you're going to want to change. So I'm showing you the software, you know, as it is when you open it for the first time. So you're going to want to untick improve point of precision. Don't understand why that is ticked there. And then you can change all your mouse sensitivity, your scrolling speed, your double click speed. I've just left it all, you know, as it is. Okay. Now the good thing is that the polling rate is set to 1000 Hertz. As you go onto it, there is other options as well, if you want to change all of that, but I'm glad it's set to that. And that's one thing, like I said, since I had the update on the 4Z GM800, it was this that was constantly setting itself to 125, which is why I gave it quite a bad review at first. Then you just click apply, and it's all going to be saved to the profile. So let's go over to the gaming then. All right then. Oh god, I've had to get this gameplay footage about 50 times. Firstly, it's super hard gaming while you've got so much kit around you and concentrating on other cameras, and then I forgot that I was shooting this whole video in like 4K 25, and by the time I was rescaling everything out from gameplay footage in OBS, even on the 3070, the encoder was just shitting itself. Didn't see him there, little shady bugger. Obviously, it's quite hard to hit people, you know. Oh, we got another boy there. But yeah, overall, I was actually quite surprised how much, you know, how well I got on with this mouse, even if it's not going to be shown in the footage that you see today, okay? Yeah, I was quite surprised. This probably isn't the best place to be. We're trying to talk about sensor performance, but yeah, very surprised. Ah, he's got me. Yeah, I was actually very surprised. In the first round I played on this, I actually went with 33-0, and that was on Operation Underground as well. So, yeah, I was quite surprised of it. Now, I still stand by what I say with the sort of comfort side of things. I still totally agree with that. And that's probably because this is more of an ergonomic design. And as you might see there is a Model O wireless, which I got about a week and a half ago, which I've only just started playing with. And the reason is that I didn't want to get distracted from using this mouse. And obviously that's a bit more of a superior mouse, but my friend also ordered one the same week. And he sent it back because it didn't, he uses the Model D and he felt that it felt too flat, which is really weird. So, you know, one person's gold in a mouse could be another man's trash. You know, that could be another man's trash to someone. So as much as this isn't the best sort of fit for me, you know, that's really good for someone else. I've really got to start paying attention. As for the mouse pad, the mouse mat, is it the Boron or whatever it's called? It's all right. It's not great. It's not bad though. It's definitely usable. I mean, I don't game on a high performance mouse pad or anything anyway. I've just got like a custom one that I had made with a nice picture on it. To occasionally get like a hard mouse mat out. Occasionally get hard. I'm hoping this footage is smoother than the last lot. This video's been a bit of a education in getting OBS working with loads of different stuff, which is why it took so long, but it's good because it's given me lots of time with it. All the buttons feel nice still. Love the side buttons on it. You can actually see the Model O next to me there. They've actually ended up putting the small buttons on the side. Does annoy me a little bit. I think the 4Z's got me used to them though. Visibility's crap on this, and I'm looking around at everything as well. But yeah, all the buttons do still feel really nice. And I feel for anyone that loves ergonomic mice, you are going to love this one. I mean, you're going to really like this. The only issue with the 3325, which a few people have reported on when I read online about it, and it's something I've definitely noticed as well, is that it's the sharp, faster movements. That's where it struggles with. If you're someone that slams a mouse apart, this might not be for you. I want to get some of these little snipers back. Where are they? I mean, I can probably concentrate on sniping a bit more while I was doing all of this. Honestly, it's going to have to take some learning. I don't know how streamers do it all. There he is. Hey, have that, you little prick. Oh, we've got two over that. So apologies for the choppy gameplay footage there. There's quite a lot of stuff going on, as I've mentioned, I don't know, about 400 times in the video, but I was sort of outputting everything to 4K 25, and then I had 1440p footage come in, and I had a 4K camera and a 1080p camera. Loads of stuff for me to assess, and I'm using the NVIDIA HVenc as well. So I think when I have to, you know, put gaming footage in the future, we'll probably, you know, drop the resolution and try and get that sorted. But most importantly, all the multi-camera stuff worked, and I haven't had any disconnects either with the cam link, which is great. So that little problem's been resolved. But, you know, how do I feel about, you know, oh, I can't get to it because it's plugged in. You know, final thoughts on, you know, the Genesis mouse, using it for a few weeks then. I think I covered it all in the video pretty well. So obviously for me, the cons for this mouse, it's just that it's at the upper echelons of a 3325 sensor price. Okay, you can get mice for sort of £25, £20, you know, just a little bit less that have this in. The positives though that I would say is that you do get some software with it. You never know if you're going to get that with other companies. But then a con on that is that with Genesis now, I don't know if I said it earlier in the video because I had to keep reshooting that gaming bit footage, is that I now have software for one of their mice. I have two separate softwares for keyboards, and I have a piece of software for their gaming headset as well. So that's starting to become quite bloaty. So one thing that I think that they should really look into doing if they want to make themselves sort of this, you know, really boost themselves as a company and be more known to people, especially this is a company that's more stuff is available in Europe, is to make some unified software. I think if they do that, that will be very good for them. I think that's one thing where you sort of see a lot of brands where they become to a brand that people represent with good value, and definitely a consideration against the top brands. But when they start to step up and start to really tackle those brands, it's generally when they start creating the software not to go with their products. So they don't just have great products, they also have great software. I don't know, did I say that there should have been some extra feet in the box? That's a big con for me. And then just, this isn't really Genesis's fault. It's an entry-level sensor. The 3325, like I said, just when you're really bashing it about, snapping it about, it does struggle a little bit. But I did thoroughly enjoy it. I mean, if that was actually in the shape that I prefer to use, a flatter mouse, there isn't a lot in it between those higher end sensors that I'm using. This is where I say you get to a certain level and it feels like a little bit of a placebo effect. But yeah, that was very good. I like all the lighting on it as well. It's a very good looking mouse. I think for anyone that loves that ergonomic Model D shape, you're going to really like this mouse as well. So I can give it a recommendation. All the buttons feel nice on it. Now, I've only been using it for a month, so we don't know how long it's going to last, you know, generally. Now, one thing I like to do is actually, I have quite a few mice at work, so I generally switch my mouse once every couple of days. And part of the reason I do that is so they're actually getting longer use. They're not being used in gaming and being flung about all the time, but they are being used, you know, where I work in my job, sort of, you know, almost 365 days of the year. And obviously, I know there's weekends and all stuff. I don't know how many days do you actually work in a year. I've never actually figured that one out. But, you know, they're being used all the time. So this mouse is going to be coming to work with me. Partly because I want to bring the Cooler Master mouse that I've got there at the moment on the side at home. So that's going to get some extended use. So I'll be more than happy to put in the comment section at a later date if it breaks. Hopefully it doesn't. But if you are interested in this, maybe if you're watching a video 6 months, 12 months down the line, and you want to know, is the mouse still working? Let me know and I'll get back to you. Anyway, that's it from me today. I'll be back with some more content very soon. We got some microphone reviews. We're also going to, you know, talk about this one and how it got on making the switch to wireless. And we have a couple of other Genesis products coming up as well. As always, don't forget to subscribe. If you like the video, leave a like. If you dislike the video, leave a dislike. And I'll get back to you all real soon.